One of the largest and most experienced YouTube channels does not use the bench press. Hey guys, welcome to the Massive Iron channel. I'm Steve Shaw. In this video, we're going to talk about the bench press. One of the largest and most experienced YouTube channels there are and ever was on the history of the YouTubes does not use the bench press. We're going to talk about what this means for our programming. Before I dive into this, if you need coaching, check out the link down below. Coaching is what I do for a living. I would love to help. All right, so you've heard all the discussions and debates over the years about the bench press. Should you use the bench press? The bench press isn't a good chest exercise. We've heard all of the discussions and the debates, but I want to give you some practical information. We're going to analyze what this guy is doing, and we're going to discuss what it means for you and your programming, and if you should focus or over-focus on the bench press for impressive chest development. So the channel is Ask Scooby, or Scooby's Workshop, and you may or may not know Scooby. He's been around since the beginning of time. He had one of the early YouTube channels, one of the first wave YouTube channels. I don't know, probably goes back to 2006 or maybe before. I really haven't checked. But in any case, he was one of the first to about 1 million subscribers, I believe. And he still has a pretty substantial following to this day. Now I'm going to flip in his Instagram clip and show you what he has to say about the bench press. All right, so Scooby basically says he has an Arnold-like chest and has never really relied on the barbell bench press. And I want to stress that, the barbell bench press. He goes on in his comments, and you can check that out on his Instagram, to describe his training early on. And he says he relied heavily on dumbbell bench and on dumbbell incline bench. And then he goes on to detail he had some sort of a shoulder issue or shoulder surgery and moved on to a lot of cables after that. So he built his base on a lot of dumbbell benching and incline dumbbell benching. Now, I'm not making this video to bash on the barbell bench or to send everybody rushing to the gym to do the dumbbell bench, because that is not the point. The point of this is very simple. When it comes to building a big chest, there are a couple must-haves you need in the equation. Number one, you need some big hitters. It doesn't matter if it's a bench press, doesn't matter if it's the incline bench press, but you do need some big hitters. In this example, Scooby was using dumbbell bench and incline dumbbell bench, which are amazing for the chest. If you don't have these in your program, I highly recommend it. Dumbbell work is great for hypertrophy. It is a top-notch, top-level hypertrophy choice. A lot of people default to the bench press, and then they ignore keeping the dumbbell bench press in the mix. Now, you don't necessarily have to do incline work, but if you want to be serious about chest development and you don't want to set the bench press aside, I would do the bench press and then some sort of a dumbbell bench press variation. Do both of these over the course of the week. Doesn't matter how you're splitting things up with full body, upper, lower, or if you're doing a body part split, do them in the same day. Now, there are some other exercises I would recommend considering. That would be like the plate-loaded chest press or the machine chest press, or you could do things like the barrel press, which is kind of a slight step down from the dumbbell bench, but a big step up from the dumbbell fly, for those of you that find flies irritate your shoulders. You can also do things like the chest dip or a decline push-up or even a weighted decline push-up. These are all really good core, solid chest building movements. And to round things off, if you need like a finisher or lighter isolation, you can work in cable work, which Scooby went on to detail was the bread and butter after his shoulder development, or things like dumbbell flies or pec deck gets my top vote for that last place exercise. Now, I do want to state that Scooby mentioned he did a lot of cable work after his surgery. I don't know his circumstances, but I would assume he had developed quite a bit of chest development before his surgery, and after surgery, it was more a case of maintenance mode. Once you have a lot of development, it doesn't take much to keep that development. So I want to state that just so we understand that he did not primarily build his foundation on the cable fly. So the second big point I want to stress here is that regardless of the exercises you choose, regardless of the big hitters you choose, bench, dumbbell bench, dips, whatever you have in the mix, plate loaded chest press, you need a good quality selection of exercises. This is something that is a staple teaching here on the Massive Iron channel. Instead of over obsessing about one exercise, like is the bench the best chest builder? Is the dumbbell bench the best chest builder? Do I need incline bench? Do I need dips? Instead of over focusing on one specific exercise, focus on a good quality selection of exercises for each body part. Over the course of a week or even 2 weeks, what are my exercises for chest? If you look at them and you have a good quality selection of exercises that have a reasonable opportunity for progressive overload, you are in a good place and you don't need to worry about a specific exercise or about the structure of your program. Doesn't matter if you're doing full body, upper, lower, or split. Just keep that good core selection of exercises and ride them hard for a long period of time. So guys, that's it. You don't have to worry about the bench press, whether it's magic or not. You don't need to worry about adding the dumbbell bench if you don't want. The one thing we can learn from Scooby's video is that you need some big hitters in the mix and you need a good quality selection of exercises to drive that progress forward. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great day.